mafia unleashed a wave of bombings across it. An explosion outside the pizza cabin in Florence killed 5 people, including a mother and a daughter. In Milan, 5 more were taken at last outside the gallery of modern art. In Rome, the same night, bombs passed wounded and in January 1993, Italy's most wanted, godfather Giorgio was arrested in Palermo near the comfortable villa where he been living.
That continues to interfere with adequate health care being provided to people.
Also on the right, the socialists struggling for suitable partners. One option Sanchez hasn't ruled out is a tie-up with Catalonia's separatist party. But what they want most, he cannot do.
Both sides very relaxed. He tends to be a relaxed party, so at the end we always end up
So the political deadlock could well continue. The struggle for independent Catalonia. Fiona Holt, Al Jazeera, Barcelona.
Nice.
Do you think that is the change for Pakistan and a positive change?
The real change would be if we were not supposed to just.
That's been happening overnight in the southern Kurdistan province, mainly in the city of Abadan and
Perfect. Ah, there's a bit of gap still there, down there. Alright, I will make that final adjustment and then we will move on.
If you'd like to sit or kneel as you feel most comfortable.
Okay, that is
Today we
good.
commemorate 50 years.
That is good.
For today's hearings, witnesses 8 and 9 Fiona Hill, but at least 12 million children are fighting need outside help. Rahila Muhammad reports.
Children exposed to daily attacks in Yemen. Dozens gathered outside the United Nations demanding
Dr. Fiona Hill, whose job as the National Security Council Senior Director for European and Russian Affairs and Office of Coordination in U.S. Alexander Chalupa, a Democratic national, the damage they have country will be long.
I can't play music because of copyright. I tried that in one of my earlier videos, Bob Dylan, but I got caught.
Against one another and poisoned the mind of fanatics to engage in election meddling at the same time. And Republicans believe we should take meddling seriously by all foreign countries, regardless of which campaign.
It's very strong support for Martin Griffiths' efforts to pave the way for the Yemeni parties, as I said, to come together in this inclusive process.
It's believed the developments follow back-channel talks involving the UK and Oman. The plan now is to get the two sides, the Houthis and the Yemeni government, together for fresh talks. The last time that happened was almost a year ago in Stockholm, when they came up with an agreement on the port of Grenada. It's an agreement that still hasn't been fully implemented. James Bayes, Al Jazeera, at the United Nations.
Delaying election, but he has the backing of the armed forces. Syria, two additional West African troops have been deployed as part of
authorities into confrontation with the opposition. This week, activists have blockaded Parliament
during the 26-year civil war. Bernie Smith met some of the damage to the
Kiribati, the former capital of Sri Lanka's Tamil separatists, is sometimes called the land of the missing. But when they go to war, people go missing. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera, Colombia.
The launch of Tesla's new electric pickup truck. And what does this happen? In the end, it wasn't the blockbuster it was made out to be. Saudi state-owned oil giant Aramco isn't worth $2 trillion. There's plenty of blame to spread around for such misplaced exuberance. The guarantee of $75 billion in dividend every year for the next 5 years wasn't enough to attract international investors. They couldn't stomach the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
I just took the knife off of the vise, and after it has cured, it's 3 days now, it has been curing in the press, and it turned out to be a little too short handle. I wanted to make a bigger handle, but as you can see, the press went beyond what I wanted the final size to be. But it doesn't matter, I will save this, I will still prolong it a bit, and it will actually turn out better than the original design that I had for this. So, we'll take the opportunity and see how we can save a handle that turned out to be shorter than we anticipated. This is one thing to consider when working with birch bark, is that when you glue and press it together, especially when you glue everything at once, it's a bit difficult to know what the exact size will be. So the best way to go about gluing together a birch bark handle is to first glue segments. Put together 5 to 10 pieces of birch bark, glue those together first so that you have segments, and then drill holes in those segments and put them on the tang, and then all you need then to do is to glue together those segments. That will one, tighten each segment more consistently, and second, you will get to see the actual final size of the handle a lot better, and you can anticipate any shrinkage up to, I would say, 90%, because when those segments already have been pressed and glued together, the only shrinkage that will happen when you then glue those segments into one piece are just those small maybe 3-4 places where you glue them all together with. So the shrinkage is very minimal. But this is one consequence of gluing everything in one piece like I did. But we will take this opportunity to also learn how to save this handle by prolonging it a bit. And I will it changes the design I wanted for the handle, but I think it will be an even better design. So let's get to it. Ooh. Tea.
But at the same time, of course, the state would have a reaction if someone tries to violate it and tries to block state functions or institutions. Government authorities decided really says the government wants to have a tourism budget split across the country. A powerful earthquake in Scandinavian killed at least 16 people. Aftershocks continuing rescue crews still. To see hundreds of staff daily going out to look for patients, to contact the contacts of these patients, to vaccinate, immunize people, to assist the community with safe burials, and most of the peaceful negotiations to end the Libyan crisis. Remember, back in April, the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told on Africa to retreat and to stop the military escalation in southern Tripoli. Since then, this is the first American statement to, like I said, address a strong statement to Africa to stop the military hostilities and return to the peaceful negotiations. The question now is whether or not this meeting is going to contribute to end the conflict in southern Tripoli, unless the United States will address the countries involved in fueling the conflict in Libya, like Russia, United Arab Emirates, and Egypt.
Iraqi forces have fired at protesters, killing at least one and injuring others in Baghdad. Demonstrators were throwing rocks at security forces from behind makeshift security barricades.
Kom da, Sitka. Kom da. Kom da, bra. Såja. Vänta. Så, kom. Stanna. Stanna. Lång. Ja.
process, but will have its own say regarding anyone's demonstration skills.
One of the main demands of the is early elections. What are the chances of that happening?
Against the American president, and not the first time or not this time, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he leaves with a certain, hit against his partners.
Okay, I will look at the meantime. The thing with information is the right hand of your lobbyist that must be compliant and take social media dollars and you want revenue business.
And left his lending friends for some time. But he
So
has
do you like where the USMCA
appears. Oi, oi, oi. All right. All right, let me get rid of these the linseed oil and what you call it, the cloth. I have to put it away unless I burn it immediately, or I can't just leave it out in the open. It might catch fire. So I will put it in a jar because I will use it again. I will add multiple layers of linseed oil on this. What I have done, there is a slight drop here and there. You can see I have brought this antler piece down to the blade, smoothen it, so there are no edges. And then there is this knob here, and this makes it easier to get a hold of it, grip it, and pull it out of the sheath. And if you remember in the previous video, I think, or the video before that, this was the size. My original design was that this knife would end here, but I discovered that it was too small. The birch bark was pressed in too much, and it got too small even for my hand. So then I added these rings of birch bark plus this antler piece there, and I made it look like this. And I have to say, this is a much better design, and it's more Scandinavian looking. Alright guys, I will start working on the sheath. This one is good to start a new knife with. Maybe not for the sheath. Okay, I think we found our volunteer.
There, the three of them decided that they would go to Austin and go hear some music, and I decided to stay behind and spend some time with my cousins who I was close to. While they were there looking, she was afraid that do something. I don't know, but so she did. She slept. When I introduced this song when we played it live, I normally say something like, I've learned a lot from her. Sometimes I'm like, she's with me and what she would say. But now the song
Absolutely, in terms of moral authority or in terms of
this sound system and on here. Amazing artists, and of course, she's the beautiful guy. And we need support. We are not getting all these corporate guys. So we will be doing and these parents are the same thing, power all the time. Get us on the same thing.
Amazing. Thank you. Don't worry about it. Just doing my job. I'm sorry, what was the document that they said they should work in peace deal for Darfur by February? The chief rebel negotiator in Darfur called it an important step towards
important to tell the story, which, I mean, you could say any journalist might feel that. But was there something beyond that? Was there something else driving you that perhaps related to your own family's experience? Or did you actually separate yourself from this man who was both the country and the father? I do that charges you were making. In the United States, 14 years ago, the community got together to fight with gunfire. Finally coming to a place where we understand our own survival depends on us making a fundamental
be in the situation we're in now. That is such a hard question.
Cubic meters of gas. So this all smells of gas, but it stinks with
Thousands heeded the advice to leave Bateman's Bay and drive north towards Sydney, many with nothing left to say but themselves.
Our house is gone. It's completely burned. We found it yesterday morning, for sure. We went out there, the block that we were on has been burnt from one side to the other.
And in October, it's faced the fires head-on. Charlotte Dallas, Al Jazeera.
At least 21 people.
Outside the city, consists of the Popular Mobilization Forces will once again gather, now this time not in front of the US Embassy, but on the other side of the river, the move of the Popular Mobilization Forces to move on the US Embassy.
All right, Simona Fulton there, live for us from Baghdad. Simona, thank you. All right, time for a short break here in Al Jazeera. When we come back, we go to Sri Lanka. America does not need the oil because it produces oil more than anyone else in the world. It does not need the gas, and certainly does not need the headache. So in as far as the American president, who is now in the middle of negotiating basically an exit from Afghanistan after today, well, a quick recap of our rolling coverage with what can be seen as a major escalation in the Middle East. Iran's top military commander, Qasem Soleimani, has been killed in a US airstrike. President Trump ordered the attacks to protect US personnel abroad amid escalating tensions between the two countries. Citizens have been urged to leave Iran. Iran's leaders are condemning the attack, which they're calling an assassination and a warning of...
You will start this war, but we will be the ones to impose its end. Therefore, you have to be careful about insulting the Iranian people and the president of our republic.
Many Iranians looked on Soleimani as someone who could protect them. Cut down at the height of his popularity by a U.S. strike, his death marks the lowest point in Iran.
Reform, but most likely could these actions not form of politics in Iraq further down the agenda now that they're having to deal with this, and as you point out, are already.
It seems to be that this is a very dangerous Iranian Quds Force. The US remains committed to de-escalation. I think that's a point that is going to be contended in some way or other, considering what's just happened. But we have also heard from Angela Merkel's spokeswoman, who says that this is a dangerous point of escalation. Prudence, restraint and de-escalation have been called for. A French junior minister, Foreign Minister Amélie de Montchalin, says that this is what we feared.
Deployed out of Iraq and Afghanistan, and I think if
journalism is about telling the stories of those humans being on the ground with the listening post on Al Jazeera.
October about the Hezbollah war with Israel, and that's been the only official interview he's given. He's a very much private person, and he did not like a lot of fanfare. And he was very close to the supreme leader and spent many, many years as his close friend and confidant. And they worked very closely together. And the first person to actually react and issue a statement was Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, issuing a very stern warning to the Americans that there will be revenge, that they will pay for the assassination of Qasem.
For very obvious reasons, because some of it may have been gathered covertly or by the intelligence services, but there will be those in senior positions in Congress who will want to know what this evidence was that led the United States to take such dramatic action and has so many people talking about an escalation in military action in the Middle East. One other thing to say, Donald Trump by instinct does not like confrontation. He campaigned and did, if needed, we are told there could be more troops heading in that direction in the coming hours. But we're not expecting a public briefing from the Pentagon at any point on Friday. And again,
have been discussed so far. It has been reported if Iran retaliate more sanctions can import will be they will have a reaction. And this message was clearly more clearly conveyed to those who we did not have any delegation from Oman. The only meeting we had, or Iranian officials had with Oman, was there was Zarif's trip to Oman, in which he had a meeting with all.
Iran helped 52 U.S. citizens hostage when they took over the U.S.
This act was against all the local and international laws around the world. No one person as Zarif as foreign minister and also as for his specialty of international relations, he has been invited to attend the session and deliver a speech in the UN Security Council.
Maybe that could be a de-escalation that Iran could save face, because there's a lot of people within this country, politicians and normal people, that just want revenge.
I said they're joining us live of the spiritual father, person, Lebanese. He was the father of Iran. So he's much more of an ideology as well as a commander of the workforce, really a revolutionary guard. And the deadline people are mourning, but they are also very angry. They want revenge. They said that they hope that Iran will hold those responsible accountable for what they've done to the general Soleimani.
And across this period of mourning, Doris, we're going to see other events.
Okay, another knife is ready, and this one already has an owner, but first let's go through the knife. So reindeer antler, birch bark, reindeer antler, cow leather, and here's some detail burning in the edges. The loop is I just glued it together and sawed 2 points there, so it will not come off. You saw in the video that I was working on this antler piece here, and also that I shaped out a pin, a small protrusion, and that protrusion works as a stopper for the leather piece, so that when you take it off, it stops it. And there is also a small notch in here that also acts as a secondary stopper. And back in the days in Lapland, there would be several ways to attach keeping the leather on there, and they all have different protrusions, either just a shoulder around the antler piece, or stoppers like this pin, different configurations of them. and I thought I would do that on this one also, that it would act as an aesthetic balance to this copper pin there. The shape, I hope it focuses. The shape of the end, it's just a slight play of lines. I don't know if you see. I didn't want to do any fancy stuff, just slight lines going and ending, and maybe if you have some imagination you could see a head there with eyes, and so maybe you can play with your imagination to see what that head would what kind of animal would have it. Anyways, I also put, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, there is also, I drilled a hole here for airing, in case you put in the knife while it's wet. There is a small airing ventilation hole there that goes all the way to the blade, to the hollow inside here. Okay, so here we are. Knife is ready, and I did get in some motivations from all participants except for one, and I think that person is also okay with how things turned out. And the winning motivation is August from Denmark, and I really liked your motivation. And for me, your motivation really put many levels, emphasized many levels to how this knife should be used. And I'm paraphrasing, I'm not reading exactly what you conveyed, but you said that you would be a very proud owner of this knife, and you would take it out there in the outdoors and really use it. And you also regard it as you like the history of the knife. You followed how it was made, and you also see the value of it. If you would take good care of it, that it would reach to your children. So something that you would pass on to your kids. And for me, that's a very nice way to look at it, and it's also something that I strive towards in making these things. They are all handmade, they are tedious to make, they do take time, and but it's also the quality I put into it, and I would like it to be used. They are working knives. And thank you, August, for your nice motivation. You also mentioned that you really like the concept that I'm practically giving it away for free, which is true. And so for €6 it is practically for free, and you really like to follow the videos, so thank you for that. So August, this is your knife. I have your address through your payment and also that email that you sent, so I will contact you regarding the shipping costs. I will find out how much it costs to ship this to Denmark to you, and we will take it on a private level through our communications. So congratulations, August, this is your knife. What I will do is just sharpen it up a little, or perhaps you would like to do that yourself, but I will give it a good polish to sharpen it up a little. And also, I don't know how big your hands are, August, but I left the handle quite fat. They are a bit too big for my hand, and I would think my hands are averagely a bit smaller than medium sized. So it's better to leave a bit more material than too little. So if you have smaller hands, you still can shape it a little and give it your own personal touch. Just sandpaper it a little, very slightly, and not too much at a time. Just do a little bit and feel how it fits in your hand, and sandpaper it a bit more. And after you have sandpapered, you might want to put some additional linseed oil on it, or just shoe fat, regular natural shoe fat. August, congratulations. And to everyone else, thank you everyone. Have a good one.